Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of Foul Territory. I'm your host, Mike Smith. And with the season 4 weeks underway, we've gotten off to a pretty interesting start here. We've seen a couple of Ron Darling's preseason predictions come true. We've seen some other ones fall flat. And it seemed like nobody was happy with what he had to say last time he was on the show. So I'm really looking forward to having him back. We got a great show for you tonight. We've got a true NYCMBL veteran in Juan Ramos stopping by. Juan, of course, the manager of the New York RoughRiders, will be talking a little bit about his start to the season this year. But first, I'd like to bring on the second member of the Foul Territory Two-Timers Club, Giant skipper Ryan Bohn. The Giants have gotten off to a great start this year. They're sitting at 4-1, tied for the lead in the Bronx-Manhattan division. So, Ryan, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you doing, Mike?
Not too bad, not too bad. I know there was some speculation by, one Ron Darling that you guys weren't going to be as strong this year as you were last year, but so far you've proved them wrong. What's been going right for you guys in the last couple of weeks?
We've had good, solid pitching and very timely hitting and a lot of good at bats. I think one of our strengths right now is good approaches at the plate and guys being a little bit patient and working the pitchers.
Well, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you because, in week one, you guys got thrown right in there against Victor Padilla, who's, kind of earning a name for himself as one of the better pitchers in your conference. He struggled against guys early. You guys were able to fight back and get a win out of the D-backs. Looking back on what he's done over the last couple weeks, does that give you guys a little more confidence going forward, knowing that you faced, one of the guys who may be the best pitcher in the conference and beat him?
Yeah, to be honest, I actually haven't looked at his stats. I guess he's done well, but yeah, I mean, whenever you face a guy like that who's a hard-throwing lefty, who's going to challenge you early and often, to be able to pull out a win was huge for us.
Well, and your own pitcher, Kevin Oldfield, has also gotten off to a good start. Now, I know this league, guys not being year-round athletes, sometimes you can see a bit of a drop from year to year. That doesn't seem to have happened to him. How's he throwing? What's his arm looking like early in the season so far?
Oldfield's just a heck of an athlete. I mean, the guy's 6'4", and he plays basketball too. So he's a pretty athletic guy. So being able to throw him out there week in and week out, and then last year we actually transitioned him as a first baseman to get his bat in the lineup. And to be honest, he's probably one of the better defensive first basemen I've seen, just because of his size. So actually, I think that's one of the things that he gets overlooked at the most. But pitching-wise, he's always there, reliable, definitely the ace of our staff. This week, we actually, trying to limit his innings, we actually didn't throw him this week against the Rockies. So that was actually a blessing in disguise, and we're able to squeak out 2 victories as well.
Now, again, your offense has been pretty much on par with what you guys did last year. You've got about 6 or 7 guys hitting over 300. Obviously it's early still, so these stats don't mean a whole lot. But you're right out there in the front of the pack. You're hitting something like 615. Are you just seeing the ball better early in the season? Did you put in more work in over the winter? What's going on with you?
You know what? It's just one of those things. I think baseball is one of those games where it's feel and mental, and when you're confident and you're aggressive at the plate, it definitely helps your approach. So other than that, it's not as if I worked harder this offseason. If not, I probably worked less, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to say that it's the hard effort, but I mean, other than that, I mean, we got Danny Rivera, who's a leadoff hitter, crushing it right now. He's batting .533 and getting on base, being a huge spark plug at the top of the lineup. And then you have Shane Minnick, who's batting .455, just tearing the cover off the baseball. I think he had 4 RBIs this past weekend. And then you also have Nino Montan and Eric Lair and then Federico as well, who just round out our lineup really well. So I think we got a really deep lineup, which is definitely a benefit to us. I wouldn't say we have one guy who stands out, but we definitely don't have any holes, or I would say an easy out, as sometimes you'll see in the leagues at 7, 8, 9, 10 hitters. There's somewhat of a drop-off.
Now looking at the standings, as I said, you guys are tied for first place in the Bronx-Manhattan division with the Nassau Yankees. I mean, this is a team that you guys played last year. You know what they're about. Give me a scouting report on them. What are you expecting from them this season? Do you think they're going to be right there with you the whole year?
Yeah, I mean, the Nassau Yankees are a team that's going to be around till the end. I mean, Victor's a heck of a coach, and they run a good, tight ship there, and they got a lot of talent. So that team can hit. That's probably one of the more dominant offenses that we'll face probably in the Bronx Manhattan division. So if we can limit them offensively and keep them around 5 runs, we should have a shot. I don't think we see them until later down the road, but definitely looking forward to it. It should be a good barometer test for us.
And, until then, obviously you guys have been playing great, but, as a manager of this team, have you identified, maybe 1 or 2 areas that you'd like to see the guys improve upon, as you guys, head into this next half of the season?
Yeah, I think every week is an improving period. I think we need to improve each week, otherwise we're taking a step back. But the one thing I think right now where I'd like to see us continue to improve is fundamentals. Fundamentals, I think, get overlooked a lot, and right now I think our defense needs to improve. We need to communicate better and just work wars as a unit on defense. I think getting out there was really challenging to get out there this spring. So throwing out their guys 1-2 weeks out before the season started didn't give our defense the ability to get where it should have been starting the season. But looking forward, I think that's one of the key areas where I'd like to see us solidify and eliminate the big innings, because errors result in big innings and big innings result in losses. So if you can reduce that, that gives us the best shot to win.
Great. Well, Ryan, I wish you guys the best of luck moving forward. I appreciate you stopping by today. So what do you guys have this weekend?
This weekend we actually play the D-backs. So speak of the devil, we're going to probably face Padilla. So hopefully we can battle him and see how that goes. But it's funny, I didn't hear you guys talk about your hot start. I wanted to hear how you guys were doing so far as well.
We've gotten off to a 6-1 start. We've played a couple more games than everyone else. But the funny thing is, I was looking at our stats, and we're hitting .231 as a team. So it's kind of like we're falling back into that same mud hen pattern of relying on our pitching. So I'm really hoping to get the offense started this week, and hopefully we can have a guy hit over 300, because that would definitely be a help this year.
So Darlene was correct in his assessment of the hitting, but incorrect in terms of how successful the squad will be.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten lucky in a couple games. We've run into some teams who've been down a couple players, but a win is a win. So hopefully this hot start can allow us to maybe falter in the middle of the season, because those losses are coming. And just how you deal with that shows what kind of team you are.
I see you have one guy with 4 wins already. Holy cow!
Yeah, Legal pitched a heck of a game. Especially we had our first 9-inning game last week, and he threw, I think, 8 innings, had 13 strikeouts against the Riders, who's a pretty good hitting team. So we only threw him 8 innings because we knew he's not going to be around this week. So we figured we'd give his arm a week of rest. And then, hopefully bounce back after that and get him on a more regular schedule.
Very nice. Impressive. 4 wins. It's not even May. That's quite a start.
Well, hopefully his arm doesn't fall off sometime in the middle of the season. But, he's obviously a big part of what we're trying to do this year.
I hear you.
All right. Well, Ryan, again, thanks for stopping by. Ryan's team, the Giants, they'll play the D-backs in a rematch of their 9-inning game in a doubleheader this weekend. And, best of luck to both teams. So before we go ahead and take a look at what's going on the Brooklyn Queens side of things, I thought I'd switch gears here to talk a little bit about what's going on in Single A. I was supposed to be joined by Morgan from the Elm Jack Dodgers, but unfortunately we got our signals crossed and he won't be joining us this week. But, his team is one of the teams that's really kind of made the leap this year. Both the Dodgers and the Downtown Bulls, who were a transplant from the Double-A, they've gotten off to undefeated starts this year, and it really looks like they could be the class of the Single-A division. Obviously in the past, one of Elm Jack's strengths has been pitching, and they're getting that again this year in only 3 games. You got Kevin Briffa. Kevin Briffa has 2 wins for the team already, and you got Bobby Myers. Both these guys were on the team last year. But, what I think is the real difference maker this year for them is that addition of those bats, those Double-A bats. That's really been huge. You know, again, it's still a small sample size, but you look at some of the guys they brought down there, Morgan, Jerome Slaughter, Romance Barber, all those guys are hitting over 500 for them this year. You have Oni Franco, who's hitting like 445 playing second base. That's a great stick at second base right there. And then, you know, going up and down the lineup, they've got 9 guys who right now are hitting over 300, which really wasn't the case for them last year. And I think it makes them a really, really dangerous team. Go ahead and look at the Bulls, who are another undefeated team, and for them, a lot of their success is because of one of their mainstays and a guy that plays in a lot of baseball leagues around the city, Paul Baumann Jr. Paul's pitched 15 innings without giving up an earned run so far. That's a pretty damn good start to the season. He's also getting it down the plate, hitting like 375, and you know, they have other bats to back that up, so I think that they're going to find a lot of success down at the Single A this year. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if those two teams were squaring off when we get to August. But, you know, that's not to count out any of these other squads, you know, including the Titans or even the New York Court Blue Sox, who are 4-2 right now. They're swinging the bats well, and they're getting some great pitching from Joe Curto. So really, you know, it's still wide open. And even though these 2-3 teams have jumped out to an early lead, I think we've got a lot of baseball left to play, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. All right, so we've got a bit of a change of plans here. I was supposed to be joined by Brian Burney from the BQE. Brian got a little wrapped up at work today, so we got a special treat for you guys, making his first appearance on the podcast, Riders coach Juan Ramos. Juan, real glad to have you on the podcast. How's it going?
Good, Mike.
So now, you guys have gotten off to, what are you guys now, 2-3 is your record?
Yeah, 2-3.
So I know that you guys have played a lot of close games so far early on. Just overall, what are your impressions of the way that your team has been playing this early in the season?
Well, we've been playing good, to be honest with you. We just need sometimes a few guys don't show up, but you know that's not no excuse. You know, other guys need to step up. You know, we've been playing some real good games. I mean, like the teams that we've been playing are really good. I mean, we played the Mud Hens the other day. I mean, that was an awesome game. It was like 1-0 to I believe it was like the 7th inning, right?
Yeah, that was definitely a pitcher's duel. You know, just from what you've seen around around the Brooklyn Queens Conference, do you think that, you know, as the years have gone on, the gap between the teams has gotten less? Do you think you're playing more competitive games on a week-to-week basis?
No, I believe the games are very competitive this year. I mean, I think Brian and Matt has done a great job because I don't remember ever playing such close games. I mean, we played the Bandits. The game was close. I think it was like 2-1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it was 4, but it was very close. We played you guys. It was 1-0. BQE we played. It was very close also until the second game. But everything is like really, really, really competitive, man. Like our division is really competitive. I mean, we got the Mud Hens. We got like the Rainmakers. The Rainmakers, like they got awesome pitching. I can tell you that. I know their pitching is fantastic.
Well, you know, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about your own team. I mean, you guys have no shortage of arms. You know, with your son, you got Juan Ramon. You know, you picked up that new kid Cheyenne, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that, you know, as this season goes on, because you have so many arms available, you know, when we get into the kind of dog days of the summer, you know, the fact that you have, you know, a bunch of healthy arms, do you think that's going to, you know, parlay into some wins there?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, once we get things going, I mean, I think we've gotten things going. I mean, you know, we just haven't really won, like, which you really have won, you know. I mean, like, with 2-3, that's not bad. If you look at the divisions, because, like, there's a few teams, like, it's really close. You got, like, a few teams that are 2-3. You got teams that are playing 500. I mean, it's really competitive, and, like, you know, like, I was looking at the forum the other day. The Braves, but they're the champs. I mean, we can't count the Braves out. I mean, you got to respect the Braves, but they're the champs. Until somebody dethrones them, hey, listen, man, I think the Braves are the team to beat. I mean, because they're the champs. You know, I mean, we gotta respect them for that. And I don't care if they lost De La Rosa. I don't care whatever. I mean, like, they got good coaching, which is Tony, and they still have that kid. I think his name is Barrios.
Yeah, Barrios. He pitched. I think he picked up 2 wins this weekend. So he's no slouch, definitely.
But, and and they still got their hitting there. They got that kid, that lefty kid. He plays first. Forgot his name.
Oscar Varela.
Oscar Varela. He's those guys. I mean, don't count out the Braves. Like, everybody, I'm looking at it like the Braves. Listen, guys, man, we gotta watch out for the Braves, and like the team we gotta watch out for, which I think, this is just my opinion. The Mud Hens. I think you guys have the best pitching in the league, to be honest with you.
Well, hopefully it holds up. As I was talking to Ryan Bohn, and we've got one guy with 4 wins already, so we want to make sure we don't throw him too much early in the season. But I do appreciate that. I wanted to ask you, going back to our we had our 9-inning game, and that's something that we haven't really had much of in this league. And obviously, I think you threw Rick Sanchez at us, and him and our guy Chris Legal, they kind of. They went deep into the game, both guys. Was it your intention to stick with Rick that long, or was it just one of those things where he was throwing so well that you weren't going to take him out?
No. In the 6th inning, I was going to take him out. What happened was Cheyenne had to work. Cheyenne is my setup man.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheyenne had to work, so Cheyenne wasn't there. Cheyenne would have started that inning, and then JR would have came in and just finished it. Because like Cheyenne will give me about 2 to 3 innings, and this is how we've been our last 2 games. This is how we won our first 2 games. That I use Cheyenne as a setup man, and then JR comes in on Juan Ramos to come in to close it up. And that's like against the Bandits. My son Juan Miguel was pitching, and he pitched the one. He was only losing 1-0. The game got tied up. I took him out the game. I brought in Cheyenne. I think it was like runners on 2nd and 3rd, I believe. I don't remember. It was either 1st and 2nd or 2nd and 3rd. And like with 1 pitch we got out of it, and JR saved the game. And we did the same thing in the 2nd game. But Cheyenne wasn't there, so I couldn't use him. So.
Well, that's pretty much every manager's problem is getting guys to the game. That's kind of the big thing. Before I let you go, the last thing I wanted to ask you, I know you guys are playing well. As the season goes along, what are you looking at? Do you think there's one area that you want to see an improvement in, or is it just a question of you're confident that if you have your guys there, you've got a chance to win, every week?
Well, I believe I could win by whatever guys there. Like, the main thing is pitching. If your pitching don't show up, you can't really win, to be honest with you. Pitching is the key to everything. Pitching stops good hitting. And I could win with whoever I got there, but my main key is the pitching. And as long as my pitching shows up, I believe that we're going to have another great season. In my opinion, and it's only opinion because it's my team, and, I want to take first place 3 years in a row, I want to take the division 3 years in a row.
Well, I hear you there, and Juan, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. It was great having you on, and I can't wait to see you. I know we got a doubleheader with you guys next week, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to, and I hope it's like another great game, man. I love games like that, Mike. I swear. It's like really tense, but I love it.
I think we all do. Again, Juan, thanks for coming on, man. Take care.
Okay, Mike. Thanks.
Again, that was veteran skipper Juan Ramos of the New York RoughRiders. So that about does it for our show tonight. We got a lot of great games on the docket for this weekend. As we said before, the New York Giants will be taking on the Bronx D-backs in a rematch of their 9-inning season-opening game this year. My team, the Mud Hens, will be battling the Baisley Pirates. We're the top 2 teams in Brooklyn, Queens right now. We both have 1 loss, and this 9-inning game should decide a lot, at least early in the season. I know for me personally, I'm going to head down to Old Boys High School at about 1:30 on Saturday to take in the Bears against the New York Express. Caught the Express last week, haven't seen the Bears yet this year. They're looking to bounce back from a tough one last week, but I think it should be a great game. So until next time, guys, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep it between the lines.